Hey guys, Glizzy here, and in today's Destiny 2 video, we're going to be taking a look at a full auto rocket build, which is going to give you the ability to fire your rocket launcher in full auto mode. So using it in full auto, it hits as hard as something like the Izanagi's Burden, so the DPS on a rocket launcher fired in full auto is pretty insane. If you guys do go on to like the video, please be sure to let me know by slamming that thumbs up button, but without further ado, let's dive straight into it. So this build's going to be centered around the Hunter class, and we're going to be using the subclass Gunslinger, and we're going to be using Middle Tree Way of 1,000 Cuts. It comes with a unique perk called Burning Edge. While enemies burn, your dodge ability recharges faster, so this is going to work really nice when we use the top tree for the dodge. So each time we dodge, it'll be able to reload our weapon, so whenever we throw our fan of knives at an enemy while they are burning, our dodge ability is going to gain its recharge back extremely fast. So the rocket that we went with was the Tomorrow's Answer. This is a Trials of Osiris exclusive rocket, and we're going to need the perk Clown Cartridge to roll on this rocket to enable this build to work. So Clown Cartridge is going to give us the ability to load 2 rockets into our magazine every time we reload instead of only reloading 1. This is going to work really nice with us firing this rocket in full auto, and this is going to give this rocket the ability to have more DPS than something like the Izanagi's Burden. So this build is going to be centered around the 6 Coyote exotic, and this exotic is really nice because it gives us that second dodge. And also I went ahead and tossed on it 2 rocket launcher reserve mods, so instead of us only being able to carry 6 rockets, this enables us to be able to carry 8 total rockets. So for the first mod that I went with was Taking Charge, become charged with light by picking up an orb of light. So now looking at our next mod, we have High Energy Fire. While charged with light, gain a bonus to weapon damage, and each defeated combatant consumes 1 stack of your charge of light. So this is going to work really nice with Taking Charge. These 2 mods are like peanut butter and jelly. They just work so perfect together. Whenever you collect the orb, it's going to give you this 20% buff from the High Energy Fire mod, and it's just really nice to have that 20% buff. Whenever you go into a damage phase, you want to always take this 20% buff with you, and with all of your teammates using their supers and all of that other good stuff, odds of you getting an orb are really high, so you'll always have this 20% buff active whenever you are in damage phase. But the key to getting this build to work is making sure you have 100 mobility. Having tier 10 mobility is going to grant you an extremely short cooldown time on your class ability. With having a class ability cooldown time of 9 seconds, that is perfect for this build, so we can fire this rocket in full auto mode. So to drive that class ability time even more, there are some mods that we can use to drive it down by the milliseconds to just make it that much more faster, ensuring that we are getting that max DPS from this weapon. So we are going to be taking a look at these 2 mods, but they are not required to get this to work. You can get the same performance out of this build with just using everything we've already talked about. So looking at our 2 mods, we have the Paragon mod and also the Distribution mod. So the Paragon mod is only found on 1.0 armor, so that's pre-Shadow Keep armor, and it increases your class ability regeneration speed. And then also the Distribution mod, which reduces all ability cooldowns when using your class ability. So when I was using both of these mods, it felt like I was driving my cooldown by just a few milliseconds. It wasn't something that was super serious, so it could just be something like the placebo effect going on here, where there's nothing actually happening, but I'm thinking there's something happening. So that could be the possibility here. But if you have these 2 mods, then go ahead and throw them on just to drive down that cooldown time by the milliseconds. But if you don't have these 2 mods, then go ahead and still use this build. You'll still have the same effects and be having a blast with it. So to get this all to work, all you simply have to do is throw a throwing knife at your enemy, and while they are burning, fire off your 2 rockets, dodge, fire off another 2 rockets, and it's as simple as that, and you can fire off all 8 of your rockets without having to reload once. So I ran some simple basic numbers inside of the Tribute Hall, and each of the rockets were doing around 43,000 damage, and you are able to carry 8 total rockets, so that gave us a total damage of 348,000. So taking a quick look at the Izanagi's, with the Izanagi's we can use 2 sniper reserve mods, giving us the ability to carry up to 24 shots. So that means we can fire off 6 times 4 honed edge shots, and each of those times 4 honed edge shots does 68,269. So since we can fire off 6 of those, that means we do a total damage of 400,000, which is a little bit higher than the Tomorrow's Answer. But even though the Izanagi's might have a better total damage output, the Tomorrow's Answer has a better DPS. It takes only 12 seconds to fire off all 8 of your rockets, but looking at something like the Izanagi's, it's able to carry a total of 24 ammo using double sniper reserves, and to fire off all 24 of those shots, it's going to take you a total of 20 seconds to do this if you are using Honed Edge ×4 in between each of your shots. So you are going to have to use Honed Edge ×4 to get that optimal DPS, so it's going to take you a total of 20 seconds to fire off all of those shots compared to something like 12 seconds when you're using something like the Tomorrow's Answer. But what's even better to all of this is the Tomorrow's Answer is a legendary heavy weapon, so it doesn't even compete with the Izanagi in a special slot, so you can have both of these weapons on and get the best of both worlds. So using this loadout, I've been having a blast. Being able to fire off all of my rocket shots and still get Izanagi shots in during a damage window gives me insane DPS. So this is definitely one of the better DPS loadouts if you are looking for an extremely high DPS loadout. But yeah guys, that's gonna do it for me in this Destiny 2 video. If you guys did enjoy this video, please be sure to let me know by slamming that thumbs up button, and don't forget to subscribe for more Destiny 2. And I've been your boy T Glizzy. It's been my awesome viewers, and I'll see you guys in another. Peace.